Zombie apocalypse.
This is the Surface Duo. It's also not a smartphone. At least that's what Microsoft wants you to think. That's because it does so much more, they claim. It's got 2 screens. It folds up. It's microscopically thin. It also challenges every assumption you've got about what phones can do. Let's take a look. A pair of 5.6-inch AMOLED displays make up the Surface Duo, each with a resolution of 1800 by 1350 at 401 pixels per inch. The Duo is pushing around 5 million pixels, in other words, which should be really taxing for a device without a battery fit for a Mustang. Battery life is nonetheless decent. A continuous torque system lets you fold the device 360 degrees into any position, but there are really 4 you're going to lean into. Flat as a tablet, folded like a book, completely open or closed, and then propped up like a tent. It's this last one that's really useful when watching videos. I find myself propping the Duo up next to my laptop and popping on music videos or John Oliver. It's really liberating. A lot of people look at the spec sheet for the Surface Duo and say this device is dead in the water, just a failure coming out of the gate. Why? It's got the Qualcomm 855 chipset instead of the newer 865. It's only got 12 gigs of RAM rather than 16 or heck, maybe even 20. There's no camera on the back of this thing, whereas other smartphones lean way into that with these incredible zoom telephotos that let you see halfway across the water. And look, it doesn't have most of the stuff that other smartphone manufacturers have been throwing into their devices and using them as differentiators. There's no 5G. There's no wireless charging. All of the stuff that you're looking for just isn't in here. But here's the thing. Do you really need it? Take the cameras, for example. How many people actually take advantage of the incredible professional cameras that are packed into their smartphones? Honestly, I take a bunch of selfies and maybe some photos of my dinner. I could do without all of that stuff if I could get more done. And honestly, you can. With most phones, you can only run one application at once. And if you're honest with yourself, this means the back button or the application switcher is the most commonly used feature. If you've got 2 screens, as in the Surface Duo, you can run 2 apps at once. It sounds basic, but look, windowing, the basic functionality of running different apps at the same time, is something we've enjoyed on computers for decades, and we've just thrown it away with smartphones. With the Surface Duo, you can copy and paste from one app to the other. Running 2 apps side by side, you can drag and drop between them to do much more with it, or even just use more of the same app. In Outlook, you can have a list of your emails on one side and an expanded email on the other. This functionality is incredibly useful. Why haven't we had this before? The Surface Duo is striking, functionally distinctive, and expensive as all get out. It's also very much a work in progress. Throughout the process of reviewing this phone, we encountered numerous problems, things like jerky scrolling, problems with the camera app, the device not recognizing which screen was facing in which direction, an important part of the functionality. Microsoft released a patch a little while ago that fixed most of these, but again, this is very much a work in progress. There's also the key shortcomings. The lack of 5G means it doesn't feel very future-proof. Maybe you don't want 5G right now. Maybe you can't even get it, but you probably will in the next year, maybe 2 years. And for $1,400, this phone had better last you. That might be a problem. Still, it's ambitious, and it does solve a number of problems that ordinary smartphones have. Should you get one? Well, if you're into the latest and greatest, it's hard to avoid the appeal of a device this thin.